going to share this. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Today is day 13 of 21 Days of Angels, which I'm just like, what is time? Where has the time gone? Oh, I I woke up this morning in an energy that's very familiar, but I felt it in a completely new way. So it felt totally, totally like something else, which is really cool. And the last several days of doing this, like tuning into this transmission and what the 21 days of angels and like the angelic frequencies want to bring forward, I usually would wake up and there would be a message already like, this is the focus of the day. This is the energy that's being brought forth today. And this morning I woke up and it was just like, there was like blankness, not blank where it's just like, what's going on? Just like nothing necessarily was coming. And then I just had this moment. I came out of bed and I was like, it'll come. The frequency will come. Whatever we're talking about today will come, or dropping in on with the frequency. And as I was like getting ready, I was like brushing my teeth and it was just like, focus. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course, focus. The angelic frequency of focus came through today. And I just really love that because the question that comes through for that, and I invite you to bring it into your heart and see what comes up for you, is there's a few variants of this question actually. It's, what are you focusing on? How do you focus? And is there even an awareness of what the focus is on? And I ask this because it's like we're always focusing on something, right? Whether it's the television show that we're watching, the Instagram post that we're having, or the artwork that we're creating, or the walk that we're taking. We're always focusing on something. But sometimes that focus doesn't feel very clear because it's not necessarily intentional, right? We're just sort of sometimes doing the motion or like doing whatever it is, but there isn't like this intentional energetic of focus where it's just like, I am focusing on this or doing this or being this because this is what is the ground, the foundation, the truth of this. So I've been really privy to focus in a new way because focus has gone hand in hand with discipline for me, and discipline and I have had a very touchy like very there's been a lot of fight with discipline, let's say that. There's been a lot of resistance to discipline. There's been a lot of like, just like, I don't want to do discipline, or I want to do discipline my way, which actually turns out to be sometimes not so focused and not so like of benefit or of support to me. And so in these last few weeks, I've been in this whole new relationship with discipline, which means all of my stuff has been coming up around discipline and how I feel about doing similar things every day or having a consistent practice or things like that. But it's been really fine-tuning my focus, because in the art of saying yes to discipline, I have found where my focus hasn't been there, where I actually haven't known what to focus on. Excuse me. I haven't known what to focus on, and it's not necessarily an external focus, although that comes from here, comes from within. It was more of just like, where have I been giving my energy to these different elements in my life and points of experience in a way that's wishy-washy, in a way that is like a maybe yes, but I'm actually feeling a no, but I'm feeling a yes and a no, and not like going in and focusing the energy, like being like, what is actually here? So it's been really beautiful, because what I've discovered so hugely, and this is something that I dropped in very briefly about yesterday, but really like fine-tuning. I've known that part of my pattern and part of my growth in reclaiming full sovereignty has been to really transmute and alchemize people pleasing and really get to the center of all of those elements and roots and why that's there. And then through this practice of discipline, through this practice of really like integral and pristine focus, which I'm fine tuning every single day, is how much I have been micro adjusting to different things, to people, to experiences, to not, sprout someone's ego, not to, ruffle the feathers too much. And I'm like, whoa, like I really haven't been allowing myself to just fully be in my expression, be in my truth, because I've been like just constantly focusing on things outside of myself and how that, like, almost, it's like a controlling mechanism almost. No, it is. So focus, like when I think of focus, when I tune into that word, and I invite you to tune into the word right now, like what does it feel like to you? When I tune into focus, even just right now, I feel this softness, I feel this allowance, this permission to like have this very clear direct line from my heart and my truth and my what I want to focus on to what I'm fueling it with, like what I'm feeling it into. For example, yesterday I was feeling so creative in a new way, and like my silly came out. If you go to my Instagram stories, you'll see. I just was totally like in my cartoon character, which is like, I'm such a cartoon character. But I was just like this, there's just permission. And even though it sort of feels this like free flowing thing, there was a focus, and it was like, I really want to create today. And I started making some new earrings that I used to make not so long ago, but a good amount ago. And it was just like this feel of focus. And then I started noticing how much like my energy was just like moving really easefully, because I was just like, I'm allowing myself and giving myself permission to focus this energy into something that like in this moment brings me joy. I don't know what's going to come from it. If anything's going to come from it that I'm going to be able to perceive, I just perceive that it's already happening and trust that. And I'm going to go with what brings me joy and focusing the energy. And so just by simply focusing my creative energy into creating something that I really wanted yesterday in the moment, which is to create some new earrings, I noticed like my energy go up. I noticed inspiration for something else. I noticed like immediate things attracting, like being attracted to me and my energy, that I was like, oh yes, amazing. So focus, I think sometimes like speaking on focus can feel or can have this energy, right? Because I think all words like can be neutral, right? It's until we fuel the energy that gives them a certain vibration, right? That's why we experience like what we call the same things in different ways. Like for example, all of us have a different experience and definition and understanding of love, right? But love is love just is, right? Anyway, so focus, I think, sometimes can have this connotation, this energy of constriction, that it can have this sort of space of it's like in this box. And I want to invite that box, those walls of the box, to open up and just see focus as not as something that's constricting, but something that is actually the preparation and the foundation for expansion, right? Because when we direct our focus, right, and when I'm focused on this, and this is what I am putting my energy into, and this is what I am like really investing my time, my energy, my space in, that's what begins to magnetize. That's in that frequency, right? So if we're focusing continually, say, on judging others or on competing with other people, then more of that will come through in different ways, right? It will, maybe it'll come through where it's just like there's a comparison happening to another artist, for example, and then that brings in this space of like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then we don't go as deep with our desires, with our wants, with our focus on, creating something that really sparks joy for us, right? Just as an example. And we're human, and there's comparison that happens, right? These are all growth points as well. But just as an example, but if we see focus as this thing of like, I really would love to create this painting. So I'm going to focus on this, right? What do I need in order to create this painting? Okay, let me practice my sketches. Let me meditate. Let me go out into nature because I feel really inspired when I go into nature. Let me go watch my favorite movie because I always get something new from that, right? This is all focused choice and focused intention to fuel the focused line, the direct line between what is in your heart and your joy here and what resonates in that joy in the external, right? That's the magnetism. Because when we're clear here and we have this intention of like such profound focus, then it clears away so much of the stuff that has been sort of like half-assed or like the uncertainty. And to say this, focus can also bring up like very loudly things that have felt uncertain or have been a no, but maybe have been saying a yes to. So I think focus is also a part of the space of really, again, sitting in that witness. We've been talking a lot, like I've been pulling through a lot of the witness, the observer, like how can we be in our experience and honor it fully while also observing ourselves in the experience, and simply just allowing ourselves to see all of the parts that are moving that we can, that we're able to, with our level of awareness, with our consciousness, with our witnessing, and say, okay, wow, I'm seeing this happen here. I'm seeing how that has happened throughout my life. Okay, has that served me? It served me at one point. Does it still serve me? It's all curiosity. It's all asking a question. It's really focusing in what's here. What is this growing with me? How am I expanding? How am I contracting? How am I expanding? And how am I allowing this to reveal the next step in my ability to open my heart more, to be present more, to be in service to the highest good of all, to share my joy and art with the world, right? Because even if you're not an artist, right, you don't call yourself an artist, like a painter or a graphic designer or, a singer or whatever, you are still an artist, right? There's still a creative spirit that's within you, and you may create your art through weaving people together and creating a space where people can meet and create together. That's a creation right there. That's creativity. That's artistry, right? Weaving the tapestry of energetics. It can be, you can, be a gardener and create these beautiful gardens with like flowers, and this one goes here and this one will grow best here, and this kind of soil. This is also artistry, right? Everything has an art to it when we allow ourselves to access that creative energy. And creative energy flourishes and flows freely and in ease and in effortlessness when there is a focus, when there is this space of like deep intentionality, deep space of just like of the why. Almost, it's like, why do this? And the why can always change, but when we know, that's the clarity, that's the focus. It's like, this is what I love about oh my goodness, what is it called in art? Is it called pointillism, or it's called it's where like it's a kind of drawing that has one point of focus, and then it's pulled out. I can't remember the exact. I think it's pointillism, but I don't think that's what it is. It'll come to me. But it's this where it's like there's this one point, center point of the photo, and then there's all of these things that are literally out right from the point, from the prism, from the triangle, and it's all going towards this thing. And some of it flies away because it's no longer in resonance or it's done its job. And some of it is really, it's morphing and transforming in the space in order to go into that point, to that focus, right? I think about my days when I was really training as an opera singer, like that was my focus. It was about, lessons every week, studying music, learning the IPA, the phonetic alphabet. Like there was all these things that were like, I'm focusing on all these things within the through line of being, being a really integral and aligned and pillar opera singer, like in my craft, right? So there's a lot of parts to focus, but the truth is like, why am I doing this? Does it spark joy? Is it something? Well, how is it serving the highest good of all? So Yeah, it's like what's coming through me too is just another example is like I was pretty deep into the acro yoga and like partner acrobatic sphere of training for about 2 years. And it was like, multiple times a week, getting together with people, getting together with groups and focusing. And it was a lot of like shifting and trying different things like being a bass, being a flyer, being a spotter, teaching, assisting teaching, learning from those who are more advanced than me. Like there was all these, but it was like I was so focused on, I really want to be good at this, and I really want to, like, I'm feeling so lit up and alive about this. So I'm focused on the training and what I need to do and how I need to like move and train my body and my heart and like connect all of these multi realms of experience into this practice, right? It's a practice. Focus is too a practice because it changes so much for us all the time in different ways. So my invitation to you today is to get curious about what are you focusing on, right? And what and how are you focusing on it, right? Like what are you focusing on and how is the focusing manifesting, right? Like I know for me sometimes I'll get into the sphere of being on my phone and I'm like, whoa, I've been scrolling for 20 minutes, I need to put the phone down, let me take a few deep breaths. What do I need? Okay, let me get a glass of water, I'm going to go for a walk, or oh, I really want to actually, I know I've been on a screen but I actually really want to work on my website and that's lighting me up. So it's this focus of like nothing else matters that does not, and how do I want to word this, that is at the expense of your health, that is at the expense of your centeredness and joy, and at the expense of like, are you people pleasing, are you making decisions because this is what you've been told, the beliefs that are here, are they yours, are they actually from your parents or from your caretakers or from your great grandmother? Like it's that kind of focus too, where it's like what's actually here and what is it that I would like to do that will fill my cup so fully that I can give freely from the overflow, right? So this is that kind of focus as well. So tuning in together. Thank you to those who are tuning in live. And thank you to those of you who are tuning in the replay. Tuning into what is or who is our guardian of the day. Focus, 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 focus. It's such a good practice because for me, sometimes I've been so like flow. A lot of my life been so flow. Let's do this, da, da, da. But there has been a lot of focus, which is why part of like have done so many different things in my life, which I love. And now like when I'm in a space of focus, I'm able to do so many different things or seemingly different things in my life with such a focus where it's almost like I can retain the information and integrate it much quicker, and I'm able to find the beauty of all the parts of something that I choose to focus on, including the things that are not so fun, like for example, like running your own business. Like, yes, it's fun to help people and drop in and like create all these things, but sometimes maybe the spreadsheets, or the back end stuff of that isn't so fun or isn't so like, oh my gosh, like this sparks all of my joy. However, again, it's the focus and it's the dedication, it's the pull to continue focusing on what it is that you love and what it is bringing forward in the world and how it sparks you. So you make friends, or if you choose to, you can make friends and be in a relationship and in a dance with the parts that are not so fun, like doing spreadsheets for, an event, or like the calling of, say, the vendors or things like that. Not every single part of what you're bringing forward or what is that sparks your joy is going to be like, oh my God, I love this. It could be, I'm not saying it can't be, but there are parts maybe that aren't so fun, like the back ends, like the sort of behind the scenes, like, spreadsheets and doing inventory and things like that. So it's all a part of it, and it's all a space to allow growth to come forward. It's all a space to allow deeper expansion and fine tuning what it is that you're here with and bringing forward in your unique expression as a creative being. Like, what is how do you focus within your life, you know? And focus too, I think, can come with like, you know, are you really, and I say you, and like when I say you, I say all of us, like, right, individually and collectively, like, are am I allowing myself to really focus and enjoy what is in front of me? Like, am I really allowing myself to be with my meal, right? With my lunch, and enjoy the flavors, enjoy the nourishment that I'm here and it really have it? Or am I, you know, eating really quickly on my phone, also thinking about this, also doing that, right? Not saying that's a bad thing, not at all. But there is something about like the slowing down, the focus point, and it helps a lot with overwhelm a lot as well, because it's like it brings it into this like, this is what's here, this is what I can do in this moment, this is what I'm choosing to do. And yeah, there's a lot to it. There's like I feel like this talk could go for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's like even that simple, where it's like I'm sitting down for lunch. Can I focus on the experience of having the lunch, of the enjoyment of being here, and just really receive it, just really be with it, be focused with it, right? Um, yeah, yeah. So let me know how that resonates for you. If it does, what's your experience with focus as we collectively here in this container of day 13 tune into who is our guardian of the day for this beautiful energetic of focus. And there we go. Oh my word. Woo, it's a powerful one. Serapis Bey, Ascension. Move into your true self. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. He is such a profoundly powerful, energetic. Ooh, I got goosebumps when he flew out. He literally flew out of the deck, y'all. Most of the time, that's what happens with these guys. They just fly. They're like, we're ready to serve. So Serapis Bey, and sneezes. Ooh. So Serapis Bey, I love him. He's amazing. It says ascension, but I also would say there's the polarity and the unification, the integration of ascension and descension. So like all the aspects. And Serapis Bey is like, no bullshit. Here we are. Boom. Pillar of light dropped in, like nothing shifting from here other than right here. Right. And so he's really profound because he is such a perfect guide that moves, like his energy whenever he comes in. And it's funny because for me, he doesn't come in often, but when he does, I'm like, all right, we're doing some shit right now. And he, like, his energetic comes in and he's like, let's scoop you out. Like, let's scoop all of the stuff that's in the soil and in the darkness, right? The depths of what's been here, and let's bring it up and rise into a more integrated space of being, which means like the honoring of the darkness, the honoring of the light, and walking the path of love, the center path of love. And it's just like, his energy is so incredibly loving, and I can feel him right now. It's so incredibly loving, and it's such an embrace. And it's this like neutral, no bullshit. Those are the terms that comes through. It's like neutral, no bullshit. The space of, there's not a fueling of anything that is not of the truth. And I say the truth in the sense of what is in your heart. What is it that ignites you? What is it that just is, that always has been, right? Without story, without all this other stuff. It's like this pillar. So he's like this papa energy that comes in and helps to quite literally refocus and be like, all right, I know you've been in it. All right, what's actually it? And let's bring it up, right? Like, let's do it together. Let's bring it up. And here it is in the light, seeing it in a whole new perspective, right? The light oftentimes just brings a new perspective on some things that we haven't known very clearly, or have been out of focus, or have been, say, meandered in a way with story or with pattern, with belief, with trigger, with all this stuff. And so it's just like, here is a whole new perspective, light. Here's what it is. integrate it, feel it, boom, here we are, focus. So he's like really profound. I love that he came through today. He's coming through today. He's like so deep Papa energy, like that divine masculine, divine father, inner father. He really, I love it because he reflects a lot of like the inner father. The inner father, like how can you hold your little one? How can you provide the space or provide the container, the time, right? Provide the time to give to your little one that needs the integration or needs the support, the hug, the words of assurance, the permission to express, right? He's the papa. I love that. So working with a lot of divine father energy. And I've been finding through a lot of the 21 days of angels, the father energy has been very, very strong. So let me know if you felt that as well. Like this papa energy, this divine father God energetic. And yeah, how that's been coming up for you, if it has been. Or if you're not sure, tuning in. How have you been feeling the last several weeks? So tuning in now, what's the message of our day that comes in with this beautiful message of focus? And okay. I love it. Minitakan, longing for home, belonging, the original Lightworkers. I pull this card out a lot. So this is a really, really beautiful card. I love it. It reminds us, this is a beautiful reflection of home being within. Home, we will not feel home outside of ourselves like fully until we really feel home within ourselves. There are elements of the external that can feel like home and remind ourselves, like whatever feels like home in the external is a reflection of what home is here. And so this, I've seen this happen a lot for a lot of beings that, have a longing for home, like home in the stars, like they don't necessarily feel home on earth, but this is where the home is right now. And again, this is like going into the depths, like what Serapis Bey assists with. It's just like creating the time, the space to be held in this container, right? Focusing in the energy of like what's home within, what nourishes me, what's supportive, and what fills my cup so that I may give from the overflow, so that it may pour forth for the highest good of all, right? This is all interconnection in that way. So Minitakan is this really beautiful, beautiful card. And actually, I feel called to read the actual description of it. So I'm going to pull the book because it's really beautiful. And I feel like whoever's tuning in and will be tuning into this will resonate, or there's a message for you here. So I'm going to read it. And yeah, here we go. So Minitakan, longing for home, belonging, the original Lightworkers. Minitakans, I'm not sure if I'm saying that quite right, but here we are. Our soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original Lightworkers. The Minitakan's home planet is thought to have been of water, a water world with water so pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Mintakans feel most at peace and at home when in or around crystal clear water. They are here to teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings. Many Mintakans have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pulled this card, it could mean that you are a Minitakan or longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where that is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it, rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. And if you feel called to say this, there's a little like hand to your heart, like dropping in transmission. So if you feel, hi Ava, if you feel called to say this out loud, please do. I allow myself to be truly here and at home on this planet. I release any grief around not belonging or feeling held and call in the perfect home, which is so beautiful. I think that's the beauty of being here on Earth, is that there is this wanting of home. And I know that what I found for myself, like, is I feel home in my body, and I'm also coming home to my body in a deeper way, especially as I create such profound new relationships with chronic illness, or what is deemed as chronic illness, and speaking with every one of my selves. And I've been able to travel around the world and feel home wherever I am, and also feel the longing for home, where it's just like, oh, I love it and I feel home here, but also like, where's my home? Like, I don't feel home, you know? And again, that comes into focus. It's like, where do I not feel home within my body? Where do I not feel safe and secure? How can I give myself that in this now moment and continue to grow and expand in that? And also connect to the earth, right? I love that we have this beautiful father and mother energy coming in, right? The holding, the creating of the space and this time and the container by Papa, and like Papa, like just helping us do the thing, and like coming to rise to shine the light and give a new perspective. And then Mama, where it's like connecting to the earth and being like, Mama, I want to feel home here with you. Can you support me, right? Calling in the energetic of the earth, because we are the microcosm to the macrocosm, which is the planet. So it's this beautiful space of like tuning in, focusing. What is it that has felt like home for me, right? What is it? It could be a certain pastry. It can be a waterfall that you went to when you were a kid. It can be riding a bike in the streets. Like, there are things, there are energetics, there are experiences that also feel like home. So my invitation to you with that, if you are feeling like, I don't know what home is for me, or I haven't felt like home, or I'm rebuilding and expanding into a new energetic, a new experience of home, tune into what through your life has felt like home, has really felt like, I'm home, I'm here, right? Because that's another thing. If we see a home not just as a physical, where you live in a house or an apartment and like you have the four walls and you're fed and all this other stuff, not just that, but like home also means you're here. What I found, that when I feel really at home, that means I feel fully physically present here on earth. Because I'll sometimes be flying in the other realms while also being here, so I'm not fully in my body. So what has it been that has felt like, oh, I'm here, like I can feel myself fully here and fully home? So for me, I know feeling home is actually going to the ocean, because it's something that we did a lot when I was a kid. And it's also something that I really deeply connect with water. So that's something that's home for me. Home for me is also like sometimes having a home cooked meal, things like that. And it can be so simple. So my invitation to you is to tune into, what are the experiences that you have felt um, home with, and even spaces that you have felt home with. And if it's a space that you can't physically get to any longer, go into meditation, tune into the physical, tune into the energetic of that place, and go there energetically, go there in another dimension, which is when you meditate, you step into this multidimensional possibilities, which is also accessible and present always, even when you're not meditating. And just tune in. You're like, oh, I really love this place, across the world. And right now I'm here. Okay, I'm going to go meditate. I'm just going to go there for a moment. Because the beauty, we're energetic beings, and energy, right? There's no boundary of time or space or length. So when we meditate, we're like, okay, I'm going to go to this place and experience home, experience what's there for me in this moment of now, in my awareness and my perception. Okay. Yeah. So tune in, focus into what feels like home, focus into what, um, what experiences have felt like home, what spaces have felt like home. And when you have felt really home in your body, right? That, coming into that and focusing on that, and focusing on, what's your creativity? What do you want to create right now? What brings you joy? That's quite simple, right? Maybe you pick up a book that you've read that you love, or you hold a crystal, or you go smell the flowers, or you paint, or whatever. Like, tune into your creativity. You always know. Oh, so my dears, a lot of focus coming in on this so much. And I even feel like in my speaking, I feel very focused. So that's very cool for me to experience with all of you here that are tuning in. So my invitation now is that if you are able, go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath. And let's take another deep breath. And begin to fine tune and focus in on an experience, a place, or an experience within a place, a memory that has felt like home to you, that has felt like, oh, like nourishment, ease. This feels like home. And just allow that to unfurl, like becoming, maybe it's a small image and then it grows or it comes really clearly, whatever comes through. And even if there's like stillness, like there's blank, trust that as well. And allowing this sense of home to open and just begin moving through your body. Begin communicating with your cells, with your muscles, with the different parts of you, and let it expand. And like, how does it come into resonance, into frequency with you now? And just let that unfold as the tones come in, and viewing and seeing and experiencing and allowing your heart to open to this expanded perspective of home and that feeling that's here. focus, presence, allowance, permission, stillness and movement, movement in stillness. The integration of the polarity, the middle point of each expression, each movement, each stillness, each experience. And it is a practice, my friends. It is a practice, dearest angels. It is a practice. And sometimes we have the focus and we go like this. And sometimes, because we're human, we want to explore these different experiences and elements of all of the spectrum. And we return to focus. We return to center. My dear friend Luna, I love when she said this. I was a part of one of her immersions a while ago. Well, maybe not that long ago, a year, but it feels like 10 years. We may forget 1,000 times a day, but the important thing is to remember 1,001, right? So sometimes we forget, our heart, our love, our ability to create our reality, our ability to magnetize, our ability to tune into our creativity, our ability to respond, our responsibility. And there are always these beautiful points in our reality, within and without, that remind us, oh yeah, that's right, I am love. Oh, that's right, I am a giving being and I am infinitely abundant. Oh, that's right, I am powerful and I am witnessed and seen and taken care of and safe. Oh yes, that's right, I have community, I'm not alone, right? And sometimes it can be really hard to remember. But this is the beauty of reflection of this reality of the polarity, is that of course we have everything we need in within, and the power of witnessing, the power of reflection, the power of being who you be in order to support the whole, right? Being the light that you are, being the love that you are, to the best of your ability in this now moment that is ever unfolding, continuously remembering, coming back to center, standing in that pillar of love that you are, that reflects and shows another, oh, I can do that too, because I am also a pillar of love. And I am a uniquely expressed being in this collective whole, this collective symphony that we are creating together of music. So, beloved, what are you focusing on? Where is your focus? And how can it be fine-tuned? And where is home? How does it show up? And where have you had memories and experiences of the reminder, the remembrance of home? Here. Can this body, can this vessel feel like home? I love you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this co-creative experience and space together. I hear you. I feel you. Like, I literally am like, we're all here together. Like, you're sitting next to me. Like, I feel you guys right next to me in this beautiful circle. I love you. I'm going to just put up our polls for today. Serapis Bey, our guardian of the day, and Minitakan, longing for home, belonging, as our message. So today, as you focus inward and you focus deeper, invite a new level of focus. Tune in. What's home? What has felt like home? What does home feel like? Right? Especially in your creativity. Where does it feel like home? Where does it feel like this is here? And know that you're being supported by so many elements and beings and yourself in wherever you are, however you are. I love you. We will be here together again tomorrow at 9 a.m. If you are resonating with these messages, please go ahead and share this video, share with your friends. I also post a part of the sound transmission, the tones that come through, on my Instagram. So if you want to tune in there or share there, you can go ahead and follow me at Yulia Isabella Partica. And yeah, share if this is resonating with you. And if not, also so beautiful. And I'm loving being here with you every morning at 9 a.m. And I look forward to being here tomorrow for day 14 of 21 Days of Angels. And be well. Enjoy your new levels of focus, your new expansion and perspective of focus, and get curious about what shows up for you today, just with that awareness of, focus. What's that? And how home shows up for you. How does home show up for you today as well? I love you. See you tomorrow.